Imagine that railways, trucks, or port cranes could run over water. Picture a world in which turbines, power plants, and complete factory facilities easily cross the oceans. Where huge buoys, vessels, and superyachts hover meters above the surface through the air. Incredible? Yes. But we accomplish the incredible. Beluga Shipping moves cargo and people every day worldwide. MV Beluga Bremen numbers among the largest and most powerful multi-purpose heavy-lift project carriers in the world. On board, 2 mooring buoys bound for South America. 2 big car ferries have to be loaded in the next port, Hamburg, Germany. Several hundred kilometers to the west, a major Beluga customer is desperately looking for a way to transport 2 800-ton autoclaves to the Dominican Republic. Without these 2 giants, one of the mining company's largest production sites would have to remain closed. Every hour of delay costs a fortune. The Beluga headquarters in Bremen, the nerve center of a global network. The really heavy transport problems are solved here on the Weser River. Like now, as the demanding parameters of a new inquiry pop up, 2 pieces of cargo, 800 tons each, very delicate, across 11,000 nautical miles, as fast as possible. A race against time begins. More than mere technical expertise is needed now. The colleagues from Shanghai know the conditions in the local ports best. When normal methods are of no use, only an exceptional approach can help, even if, as in this case, it involves a step back. The bridge of the Beluga Bremen receives new instructions from the headquarters. Because it has a crane capacity of 1,400 tons, the ship is the only option for transporting the urgently needed autoclaves. To do that, however, the 170-meter-long vessel has to change course by 135 degrees, almost a U-turn, a very unusual move in merchant shipping. This means the Beluga Bremen can no longer be assigned to load the 2 ferries in Hamburg on schedule. The job is taken over by the Beluga Singapore, which is heading for Algeria and just about to cross the Strait of Gibraltar. Less than an hour has gone by since receiving the request. During this time, Beluga has put things on the right track to solve the problem. In only 5 days, the Beluga Bremen reaches Malaysia, an extremely short period for organizing such a complex shipment. Just the job for Beluga. Meanwhile, in Hamburg, preparations for loading have been completed. Kuantan, Malaysia, on the other side of the world. Prior to loading the 2 autoclaves, one of the cranes fixes a pontoon to the vessel. This provides additional stability for heavy lifts of these dimensions. Despite the centimeter-thick outer shell, a fireproof coating makes the huge 40-meter machines extremely sensitive to scratches. Millimeter by millimeter, the car ferries snake through the narrow space between the cranes onto the vessel. Thanks to the excellent preparation and surgical precision, the team succeeds in loading and securing both the ferries and the autoclaves in a single day, a gain in time which may be crucial in the future. That same night, the Beluga Bremen sets off on a long voyage, thousands of lonely sea miles through the Pacific. With two 800-ton pieces of cargo safely secured inside the 80-meter-long hold. It's good to be able to rely on a well-rehearsed crew that always has a firm hand on the rudder. Almost at the same time, the Beluga Singapore leaves Hamburg with two bright red ferries on board. Care has been taken to make what is probably their longest voyage ever as comfortable as possible, despite the tight corset of stabilizing steel plates and chains restraining them. The beginning of the monsoon season promises wind force 8 and turbulent seas on the Indian Ocean. Not too turbulent for the Beluga Singapore, but possibly for the two ferries. The anti-heeling system compensates for the motion of the vessel during heavy swell. Consequently, the cargo on board remains undisturbed by the rough sea. The young Beluga fleet features state-of-the-art safety technology, an invaluable advantage especially for expensive items like these. After only 25 days, the Beluga Bremen reaches the entrance of the Panama Canal. Even 6-meter-high waves in a cyclone could not delay the vessel. In Central America, the weather conditions are perfect again. Stopover in the roads of Coveñas, Colombia. One of the 700-ton cranes discharges both of the mooring buoys offshore. Mombasa, Kenya. Hundreds of people crowd onto the pier to welcome the long-awaited ferries. Only centimeters separate the cargo from the historic warehouses at the pier during discharge. From the two crane operators to the first officer, who controls the ballast water system, the whole Beluga team works like Swiss clockwork, perfectly synchronous and absolutely precise. The word port doesn't seem fitting for Samana. Only a single old quay wall sticks out of the jungle. But this is where multi-purpose heavy-lift project carriers like the Beluga Bremen stand out. They can operate in almost any port and also load and discharge offshore. Since the necessary infrastructure is always on board, there's no need for compromises anywhere in the world. Only 32 days after the first notice, the two autoclaves are on site, impeccably white and ready to continue their journey through the jungle. 7,500 nautical miles to the east, the two car ferries are moored at the pier, shiny red and ready for their first job in Mombasa. One world, one ocean. The world moves closer together. Our fleet contributes to this every day. The key to its success: the powerhouses of the Beluga P-class. 20,000 tons loading capacity. Space for cargo up to 82 meters long below deck. 17.5 knots cruising speed. Cranes with up to 1,400 tons lifting capacity, but nevertheless amazingly efficient. Performance, flexibility and intelligence in harmony, made for missions in the most challenging maritime environments of the world. This is where the multi-purpose heavy-lift project carriers of the next generation operate. Project and heavy lift is a supreme discipline of shipping. To sail at the forefront here, you need to do more than deliver cargo from A to B. you need passion from A to Z. But that's not enough. For visionary captains, the high seas are more than just transport routes. This is where the elements meet, where the wind, an abundant and clear source of energy, waits to be put to use. Here we bundle our competencies together with strong partners and grab opportunities that lie beyond known waters. Beluga Hochtief Offshore develops, constructs and manages special vessels that are able to load, transport and install wind turbines over 100 meters high on their own. With 4 integrated legs, these jack-up vessels transform themselves into a stable platform, enabling safe, efficient and virtually weather-independent operations. Everything from a single source, a proven concept that Beluga takes from the heavy lift sector and applies to the offshore wind market. Beluga offers the right fleet for a globalized economy. More than 70 multi-purpose heavy lift carriers, reinforced for voyages through polar regions, with low drafts and crane capacities of up to 1,400 tons. More than 1,500 crew members and 600 committed employees at more than a dozen branch offices on 6 continents provide for tailored transport solutions that are creative, reliable and efficient. No matter where the voyage leads, the world market leader in project and heavy lift focuses consistently on the keys to success and future. Welcome to tomorrow. Welcome to Beluga.